Good morning. I hope you are having the worst day of your life. I'm just joking. So, today I decided I was going to do a video that I've been meaning to do for a very, very long time. Okay, about a month and a half for now. And this video has to do with worlds, okay, world building, and number two, my favorite worlds from my favorite fantasy books of all time. Okay, so basically this doesn't necessarily have to be one book. It can be a series, like, Mistborn era 1, the Kingkiller Chronicles, and so on and so forth, right? So generally, also, I would like to clarify, right now I am reading Discworld, right, The Color of Magic, and well, I am loving that story so much that I am confident the more I read, the more I will fall in love with this world, because so far what I've seen elevates it literally to the peak, like to the summit of Mount Everest. Imagine waking up one day trying, and then your first thing impresses someone so much that they think you're the best thing ever. Yep, that's Discworld for me. Anyhow, we're going to T-rank all of these, all of these worlds, right? Based on this particular criteria. Okay, this one is the author must have gone bold. It says both. Well, it's even much better. Okay, they must have gone both. One, only one issue, right? So for this one, it's great. Only one issue means I think it's great. This one is the greatest. This one is great, but it just has one issue. And then there is unique / innovative, and that's why I love it. And then there is another one. Now, this one is a really important one, okay? Well integrated into the story. So many people just don't really pay attention. They think, okay, I'll just world build and then I'm going to write the damn story somewhere in the map in some village. No, the world building has to be well integrated into the story. What do I mean by this? Okay, when you look at Lies of Loch Lamora, in the city of Comor, we have the city affecting the characters and the plot. You have A Song of Ice and Fire, King's Landing. King's Landing really impacts the story meaningfully. Okay, so the world and the story have to be well integrated. This is really important. And here we have well-rounded. Basically, the author has put in quite a good number of effort. In other words, it's really good. It does have some problems, not just one, it has some, a good number of them. It is kind of unique. It is also kind of well integrated into the story. And that puts it well-rounded, okay? So, let's get into this particular, rating. Now, a story that I think the world is really well-rounded, okay, the world is honestly very well-rounded, has to do with which one? It is Prince of Thorns, The Empire. And this world is unique, it is innovative, because it's sort of an apocalyptic future world, right? Basically, the Wheel of Time, where we have Age of Legends, that was some sort of a long gone past, but to us that's our future. And this is the same thing. The world that this story takes place in is really honestly just a future version of our world. Another thing is, another story that I really do think has a well-rounded world is Mistborn Era 1. Mistborn Era 1, it is innovative, it's unique, but the only thing that makes it unique and innovative, it's the magic system, okay? The world is kind of a generic stock. There's not much to it. However, it's also well integrated into the world because the characters, how they think, their troubles, their problems, it is all because of the world. And that is just crucial, right? So because of these two things, the world in Mistborn Era 1, and specifically Mistborn Era 1, is really unique and well integrated into the story. Now that we have these two out of the way, we have the rest of this video. There is no doubt about it, okay? There is not a single doubt about it. The most well integrated world that I have really read has to be Dresden Files, Chicago. It's basically some of the most beautiful integration between world building of magical fantastical elements and basically our world. You have modern day Chicago, and you have Dresden, who is a magician, a sort of a wizard, and he performs magic, but he's actually a wizard. It's not some oracle in some dark corner, or in some room, spinning BS. This one is actually the guy, okay? And I really love how the fantastical world is very beautifully integrated into our world. And also from there, this world building put together is also very well integrated into the story. In fact, I talked about before how Dresden Files, with the mystery in the first book, just the first book, you have this beautiful mystery that is, we have literally deduction through magic, okay? But it's deduction through magic, not necessarily, ooh, show me the correct answer, I have waved my wand. It's basically, ooh, this is this type of magic, so someone who is this particular nature must be doing this and this and this, right? And that's really beautiful. And so the world of Dresden Files is so beautifully integrated. It's really difficult to find worlds that are like this. Let's talk about the next world, okay? Which one is it going to be? A world that is unique and innovative? 100% Rosha, okay? Rosha is just different, okay? But it is not great. And also, the author could have not gone bald, okay? Because I have seen Brandon Sanderson, he's running around with beautiful hair. Basically, what I'm trying to get to is that the world of Rosha, first of all, is beautifully constructed. Number two, it is very innovative because you have the high storms, and also you have something that is really not well done a lot in the fantasy genre, and if it is done, it is really just minimal. You have speculative zoology, okay? Speculative zoology is basically a human who just speculates on how a creature would evolve, okay, or how natural a creature would be for a given environment. So if you have an environment with a lot of gravity, you might have animals with very dense bone, because you need to survive in that high gravity environment. So Brandon Sanderson does amazing, beautiful speculative zoology. I am not aware of another author who comes close to his speculation. So if you might know someone who can contest him that I'm not aware of, let me know, because currently my opinion is that he is the greatest speculative zoologist in the fantasy genre, okay? Who publishes fantasy books, not necessarily world building, because there are others who are much greater, but those people just do world building. Another thing is the magic system. Again, it's Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn, right? Again, Brandon Sanderson. His magic systems in here are much better. I would say nowadays, before I didn't really used to think that his magic systems nowadays are much better. I will make a video about that soon. Yes, and it is really fun to observe this, okay? It's amazing. It's really beautiful. I love everything about this world. It's unique. The only two problems that I have with it, number one, the story. God damn it, man. The story is so obsessed with the Shattered Plains. Holy God, we spend so much time in the Shattered Plains. It's unbelievable, okay? You will spend 2,000 pages in the Shattered Plains. It's crazy. You have a world that is literally one of the most detailed worlds to have ever been created in the fantasy genre. And then we just have, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stay in the Shattered Plains and chill. And so that is the problem. That's literally the problem. Another problem is how This world is so full of just functional fantasy, okay? um, yeah, there are few things that really mimic the real world. In other words, for instance, what am I trying to get to? Recently, I read The Rage of Dragons, and in that particular story, there's a group of people called the Omehi. Okay, the Omehi are a beautiful group of people, precisely because they don't really make sense. Okay, they lie to themselves. They have concocted stories that they tell to themselves to make themselves special, much like everyone else does, and they see themselves as above everyone else. And they are basically realistic, not necessarily realistic, but they are beautifully constructed because the human psychology is strong. Now, in a song, in Rosha, as far as I'm aware of, that really mostly happens with the dynamics between the Parshendi as well as the dark eyes and the light eyes. Okay, and each one of these three groups is convinced that they are at the top, and they are the special group of people. And I do mainly support the dark eyes, but I also support the Parshendi. I would like the Parshendi to fucking destroy this world. I'm sorry, man. I just feel that way, man. Moving on, these two but a lot of the other cultures that I have seen in Rosha that we have been told about are really cultures that make sense. They have logical things going for them. In other words, the humanity in this story is really in this world, sorry, not this story. Again, in the story, the humanity is very strong. It's just that in the world building, the humanity is really missing. Okay, you need messed up psychology, bro. You just gotta have your messed up psychology shit, okay? So I think Rosha is a very, very good world. Let's talk about the next story, right? The next story that I really think is unique is also Lies of Loch Lamora, the city of Como. Now, keep in mind, I don't think that the city of Como or the world building is really anywhere as a scale or epic as Rosha. I just think it's so much better integrated into the story. Okay, number two, a lot of the world building in the Stormlight Archive kind of slows down the story. Okay, it reads like a textbook. It reads like a textbook. It reads like, Sanderson is telling me, hey, I have this amazing world, blah, blah, blah. You should get to know about it. Which, yeah, sure. But a lot of the time, it just feels like a huge tome and a huge funnel of textbook just thrown my way. But it never really feels that way. Number one, with Lies of Loch Lamora. But number two, the world building is incredibly, full of just human aspects, human elements, which is really missing in the Stormlight Archive. Yeah. So the world of Rosha is greater. Yeah. So the world of Rosha is greater, far greater than the world of the city of Como and the world building in Gentlemen Bastards. But ultimately, in my honest opinion, I still think this world building, even though it's tiny, even though it's little, it still holds a candle and it still competes for the best spot. The other spots are really, honestly, just so beautifully constructed. Not only are they well-rounded, but they are well integrated into the story. And on top of that, they are unique and innovative, okay? And they are full of human depth, okay? The next world that is that precise nature is Discworld, okay? Right now, I'm reading the first book, which is weird, because so far what I have seen really elevates it that high. So I will avoid talking about it because I don't think I can talk about it with any competency until I finish book 2. So that will happen, hopefully, in the near future, okay? But a world that I can talk about is Temerant, from name of the Wind and the Killer Chronicles books, right? The two books that we have right now, and one short story. This world has one issue. By the way, it says one issue. Again, as I said, I don't know what that issue is. I'm suspecting there has to be one issue because there's always one issue with everything. Yeah, so maybe one day when I finish book 2, after I finish Color of Magic, I will get to know, what that one problem is. If not, it will become literally great, okay? So, in the King Killer Chronicles, what is that one issue? That one issue in the King Killer Chronicles is how, for so much of the story, the world is like a mystery, okay? Yes, the world is like a mystery. So remember, Brandon Sanderson, basically blurts out, he vomits out everything the first moment he gets the chance to, okay? Come on, you want to know more, and when you want to know more, you get to know more. Okay, it's basically beautiful basing, but for the world building. Imagine good basing, but for the world building. That's what this is. This one I have no idea. And then we have Temerant. Okay, Temerant basically tells you less and less and less. You want to know more, but when you want to know more, there is, the author basically intended it to be, a long mystery. So again, I don't think it's bad. I think there's beautiful material from what I have seen. And again, it's so rich of humanity. I hate world building in the fantasy genre that is just sterile. It feels like, someone basically castrated the whole shtick. So this one is beautifully dynamic. It's so rich. It's so human. It's such a human world. This story, Name of the Wind, particularly, is stories that tell stories, and those stories tell other stories, and it's just beautiful. Okay, this is why I think Patrick Rothfuss was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the greatest author from his generation, the 1970s, with Jim Butcher, Scott Lynch, Brandon Sanderson. He was supposed to be the greatest of his generation. The problem is, when talent doesn't work hard, you end up becoming the bottom, okay? But of course, this is beautiful material, so it's going to be there. Now let's talk about the next two. The next two, not only are they well-rounded, well integrated into the story, unique and innovative, have no problems, in my opinion. These two and have no problems. Not only are they this and this and this, but they also don't have the camera died. Okay, so not only are they this and this and this and this, but they have no problems with them at all. Okay, it's weird to be saying that, but I look at Middle Earth and I think, what is one problem I have with Middle Earth? And if I have a problem with Middle Earth, likely it's because I don't know. I haven't read enough into Middle Earth. That's how detailed this world is, okay? And also, when you are reading the story, it's so beautifully human. And when you want to know more, much like here, you get to know more. And it doesn't feel like a textbook. Number two, it's just beautiful. It's beautifully conveyed, okay? That's how I can put it. Okay, so the author must have gone both. Okay, literally, we know that this guy went both on his story. And another one is actually Song of Ice and Fire. Specifically, no. Pay attention. It's not Essos. It's not all of that shtick. Okay, I'm not talking about all that shit. I'm talking about Westeros and also Beyond the Wall. Beyond the Wall is some of the most beautiful fantasy I have ever read. It's so amazingly constructed. Even though it's kind of a minimal fantasy, it's still so intriguing. It has that fantastical aura, okay? And it's beautiful when Jon Snow goes there in the second book. Number two, we have we also have Westeros. Yeah, how did I forget that? Yeah, so we have Westeros. And Westeros is some of the most beautifully detailed, politically in-depth world building that we have seen ever in the fantasy genre. And again, that's my opinion. If you have read more than me in the fantasy genre and you would like to show me, it's like, hey, you come here. I have news for you. You are wrong. This and this. Please prove me wrong down in the comments below. But Westeros is the most politically in-depth world building in the fantasy genre's history. It far outstrips anything Tolkien has ever done. Anything in here, done by Patrick Rothfuss, Brandon Sanderson, Scott Lynch, Jim Butcher, Mark Lawrence, again Sanderson. He actually makes it to here twice. Congratulations. He's very unique. He's really very unique. Speculative zoology is something I never thought I would see in the fantasy genre. Done right, done properly. He actually does speculative fauna, which is speculating about the environment, the trees and the so on and so forth, right? Which is, man, Sanderson goes next level. So there you go. These two are literally the greatest two fantasy worlds to have ever been built. Everything by by J.R.R. Tolkien in Middle Earth. But number two, we have Westeros and Beyond the Wall. Now, don't get it confused. I'm not talking about the rest of the shit with Essos and all of that crap. I'm just talking about Westeros and Beyond the Wall. I have no idea about the other continents. I do know some about Essos because, Daenerys is there. But that's really it. But damn, Westeros is just beautiful. It's just beautiful, man. It's beautiful fantasy. It's fantasy essential, okay? So, that's going to be it for this particular video. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you liked this video. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.